What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chalk Dirty Show. This is Kyle Holman.
This is Monica Hilton, and this episode is sponsored by HealthSpot, where we are live on location. It is locally owned and is an awesome place to get all of your supplements. We are here with Amber. Is that even how you say your name? We should check this.
Perfect. It's
Amber. Okay.
Yep. Right.
So he is the owner of HealthSpot, and I know it's where I come for all my supplements. So we're just going to start by give us a quick, brief overview. You have 4 locations, right?
Yep. So we're locally owned, just us here in Indy. So we're here in Broad Ripple, Avon, Fishers, Greenwood, and then online at healthspot.com.
Awesome. Okay, so quick overview of just list every supplement that you have in the store.
Okay, so we'll start with creatine. We'll be here for a while. This is like a Joe Rogan podcast.
So you've got obviously lots of categories: protein, creatine, energy drinks. Let's start with what's your best seller? What do people normally walk in the door for?
Well, the biggest categories by far right now are still going to be pre-workout, protein powders, BCAAs. Obviously, the energy drink category, kind of a subcategory. I kind of put that under pre-workout right now.
See that Bang over there.
So Bang is huge. It's all over the place. So, but the pre-workout category, I think, is still probably the biggest. And it has the biggest variety because it has the least loyalty. People like to bounce around and try different workouts.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
for sure.
In protein powder is different. People find a good protein, they tend to stick with it. But with pre-workouts, they bounce around.
That's funny. That actually makes sense because you got like protein. It's like, well, I'm already done with my workout, so I get that. But it's like, oh, well, I didn't have that great of a workout today, so I'm sure it was the pre-workout.
Yeah, for sure. You attribute your
Let me get a
workout.
different one, right?
For sure.
Or you're seeing like stimulant tolerance, right? So you have Bangs now at 300 milligrams of caffeine.
Right.
You know, when my mom opened the first store in '93, nobody would ever drink something with 300 milligrams of caffeine.
Oh, no.
And the stim tolerance is just growing up from there.
Well, I saw, now this might be Monster, but I saw like a Monster XL or something the other day, and I'm like, good Lord. Just when you thought like that size can couldn't get any bigger.
Yeah.
I don't know how many milligrams of caffeine are in that bad boy.
People didn't think it was going to work. People were saying anything over 200 wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
Then obviously Bang changed that. They're so successful that you started to see Monster come out with their version, and there's another one coming out that's actually doing 400 milligrams of caffeine.
Shut up.
So it was
Guys.
Yeah, let's tone it down.
All right.
This is where I beg people. I'm like, okay, if you're going to take this stuff and you notice this stuff isn't hitting you the way it should, it's time to do some cleansing, right? It's time to say,
Sure.
That's fair.
don't brag about it. They'll be like, I could drink 3 Bangs. That's not a good thing. Let's slow that down.
Yeah.
Let's
Right.
actually start working on some cleansing. And there's some products you can take that kind of refresh your adrenal glands and kind of pay attention to getting your tolerance down again. Because
I did not know
you know,
that.
you shouldn't get to a point where, you know, we do have some pre-workouts that full dose is 500 milligrams of caffeine.
That is insane.
Can you imagine?
And at that point where you're like, I don't even feel that, you'll see people bragging about it. I'm like, listen, this is scary.
Not
That is
a
not
bragging
good.
point.
Yeah,
Nope.
let's slow this down.
Yeah.
So.
I didn't. Well, then even when people are taking those, they a lot of times won't take into effect that they had coffee in the morning or
Yep.
they had this, that, and the other. So
Right.
like the amount of caffeine that you're having in a day is insane.
It's getting bigger and bigger, and the idea is we need to bring that down again, but we're not going to bring it down if people aren't feeling the product or they're not educated. So we need to kind of bring down we need to get back down a little bit, because where's it going to go? It's just going to keep going up and up.
Right.
And you're just
Bang,
killing your adrenal
1,000
glands.
milligrams
Yeah.
of caffeine.
Like now 400, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And that was a mainstream in a gas station product. It isn't in the supplement store.
Right.
So when you start seeing 300 milligrams in a gas station, my fear is, what's the age range of people using these products, right? So
Yeah.
now you have like a 13-year-old kid runs into a gas station and
Let me just float up on 1,400 milligrams.
so, you know, and Bang is the fastest growing by percentage energy drink in our industry, or in the country.
Yeah, we've
I
noticed that as
attribute
well.
it to the unicorn flavor.
The unicorn
probably.
flavor?
Yeah.
It's a popular one.
I've never tried that one, actually.
You never tried the unicorn?
No. I need to try
Purple
it.
Haze. We've
Purple
had that.
Haze
Yeah,
as well.
Purple Haze, yeah.
That one's pretty solid.
Rosé is the newest one.
Oh, yeah.
Rosé.
For all those wine drinkers that can't drink wine during the
Yeah.
day.
Or
Get
they
in my
want to
bag.
feel like they're drinking wine
Yeah.
before they work out.
Well,
Yeah.
they just mix them. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, can you imagine?
We do have a champagne flavor that's been around. That was one of the originals.
Huh.
Nice.
They've only discontinued one, which was the root beer, and they needed to. That one was just bad.
Well, now that we have the contact high of feeling like we're all hopped up,
Yeah.
let's actually get to our topics for
All right.
today.
All right. Well, yeah. So, you know, a lot of times we have a lot of listeners that maybe have an idea in their head about this, that, or other business. So, you know, where was that initial thought for you, and was it out of, you know, you felt like this was a booming industry and you wanted to capitalize on that, or you really felt like you had something different to offer? So where did that
Or
come
your
from?
mom.
Yeah, I'll give
Yeah.
you some
She's
backstory. So my mom opened the first store on Lafayette Road, and that was in
Okay.
1993. So my mom was losing her hair.
Okay.
No doctor could help her. She really wasn't getting the results she needed. She kind of stumbled upon the benefits of vitamins.
Okay.
But she's like, I can't afford the vitamins I needed. So she found vitamins that helped her hair. She's like, I need to be able to afford these. So
Sure.
she went and got a job at a local supplement store.
Okay.
Worked there for 6 months and was like, okay, now I have employee discount so I can afford my vitamins. And then she's like, okay, now I think I could do this better. And then she opened her first store in May of 1993 on Lafayette Road.
Huh.
And that's where it started. And she kind of, ran it. There's three of us boys at that time kind of growing up in the stores. So we really grew up in the back of the stores. And then, it kind of progressed in the 93 up until 2001, 2002. Economy's good. Everything's kind of growing. We opened our second location. I believe that was in 2002. And then we opened up a third location. And then 2008 happened. So a couple things happened. You had no internet. So when my mom opened, there was no internet competition. So you were. You had margins that you can actually raise a family on and live on.
Yeah.
And you didn't have the competition of the internet. So what happened was, you had internet growing, because when it first started, people were scared to put their credit card number into the website, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now it's second nature. So we started losing market share with obviously the internet coming into the play, and then 2008 happened and it just tanked.
Yeah.
So that's when my mom was like, okay, I'm done. So then I took it over in 2008. We were running 3 stores completely separate. There was no uniformity amongst the stores. That's when I was like, listen, I don't believe this industry is going anywhere. And this was 2008.
I would agree, yeah.
I believe that we had definitely a lot of opportunity because we had to create, similarity among our stores, create that brand identity. We didn't really have a logo, so we had nothing. We were just a regular old mom and pop store with 3 different locations, and it was family run, so it had its normal aspects of being family run, good and bad. So, 2008, I took it over. So then basically we said, okay, I'm going to redo this from the ground up. In 2009. I had the same car for, I don't know, at that time it was probably 7 or 8 years. It was broke down, it was falling apart. I decided to keep that car a little bit longer, and I got a POS system to kind of unify that. Because without technology...
So POS, you weren't talking about your car, right?
That was there too. But,
I actually thought the same.
But that was because, a good point of sale system, especially for a multi-store operation, is expensive. It's going to cost you the price of a car. So we started with that and said, okay, this will be the backbone, and then we're going to try to actually brand the stores, link them all together, and see if we can create something that can sustain. Because we know that the aspect of this industry that isn't going to go away is people want knowledge.
Yeah.
So they're typically going to want to go into a store and get some information or see what's going on in that aspect.
Yeah.
So believing that customer service is still a factor and believing that we can use technology to kind of make things a little bit streamlined was the initial concept. And we saw that there was a need. People need information. They need the correct information. They need someone to talk to. And I think people still want that human interaction.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a lot, that social media and internet and things like that, there have definitely been some positives from those things, but more and more these days, this is what doesn't happen a lot. And that's a challenge even as a business owner when you're getting your gym, your store out there, is you're just trying to, you have probably 10 seconds, and with how fast people flip through their phone these days, to catch somebody's attention.
Well, and there are certain industries that this lends itself to. Like, I went to Lowe's the other day. I had questions about the particular piece of hardware I needed. Yeah. Same thing with this industry. But the question is now, let's say that I come in, I ask all the questions, your staff is knowledgeable, now I know what I want. How much business do you then lose to the big A company that I don't want to mention because it's your competitor?
It's a factor, right? Yep. So people come in, will try to get information from us, and then what happens is they'll typically go online. Not everybody. Let me say not typically.
Yeah.
Some percentage of people are just going to go online because they just are like, hey, listen, I just want a better deal, so I found it cheaper online.
Yeah.
Right.
That's how it was at the very beginning. That's kind of gone. Now our pricing is so competitive. Like, we're some products like Gold Standard, some of these products that are mainstream, we're significantly cheaper than the big competitors in our industry, which are all billion-dollar companies. GNC, Vitamin Shoppe, Amazon, these are billion-dollar companies. Yeah. So we're saying, okay, listen, we're going to be selective with the products that we think everybody wants. We're going to be cheaper than online, which back in the day used to be more expensive, be okay. Well, it's $30 online, it's $35 here. It's here now, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
Right.
But now with competition becoming so fierce, you got to be a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And, so you got to have both. You have great prices, great value, and great customer service.
Yeah.
You got to tie it all together.
Yeah, and that kind of ties into even our gym. Like, for instance, we have an online option. Les Mills On Demand is the ability for people to live stream the workouts that we offer in class in their living room. Mm-hmm. But they're never going to get the live experience of an instructor and someone watching your form by being in their living room. And it's not motivating. You can press stop halfway through that and be like, that's good for today, as opposed to being in class. And that's what draws people in, is that human connection.
Yeah. And then you have there's a certain percentage you're going to lose to that.
Right.
And you just have to build that into your equation, right? You can't fight these macroeconomical aspects of the industry that aren't going to go away.
Right.
So, I tell people when they get upset about these things, I'm like, just stop. Like, I talk to people who own stores.
Well, control what you can control.
They're complaining about things. I'm like, listen, this is the way it's going to be.
Yep.
First of all, you're using these services yourself.
right.
You're going to Amazon and buying things,
Yeah.
and now you're upset because your customers are. The idea is accept that, and how can you work around it? Give them a phenomenal price where they don't want to go. Figure that part out, which we've done a great job of doing. Of saying, okay, here's some products, and we're going to actually equal to or better than what you're going to find online, and then have unique selection. So we have a lot of exclusive products. So what makes HealthSpot going into the future better is our portfolio of exclusive products, or products you're not going to find anywhere, including Amazon, a lot of the major competitors, is growing and becoming better, because you have companies out there that are like, listen, we want to make a great product, because if you take a product online, there is a chance you're going to lose price integrity of that product.
Yeah.
And a lot of brands, if there's not assurance that price integrity will maintain, they don't want to take it to that platform.
Yeah.
And we saw in our industry, especially at the early days of online, where you had price integrity getting destroyed, and the people who owned the brands were very, very upset. And then that's transitioned and changed drastically over the last 3 or 4 years.
It's crazy how things change, because you were mentioning that people, might come in here for questions and they're like, oh, let me go see about a deal. Like, honestly, Groupon has changed.
Yeah.
When I had my gym, whenever that was, 8 years ago, or whatever, years ago, people found gyms or other places because of Groupon. But now people will find your gym, come in, check it out. Ooh, yeah, I like this place. Let me go check and see if there is a Groupon. So
Same thing if people go to websites where they do, I want to buy this, and then they go to Google search and they type in the store and a coupon code to see if something pops up.
All right.
But the reality is, I think in those situations too, if they don't find a Groupon or they don't find a coupon, they're still going to go.
Right.
So
absolutely.
I catch myself doing it. I'm like, oh, let me see if there's a coupon. There's no coupon. I'm still going to get it.
Well, and like you said, you just have to be aware that has changed, but what are you going to do? Fine. The person is going to get a Groupon while they're still coming to your facility or your store, so that's still your opportunity to gain a customer.
Yeah.
So,
and that's what it comes into. Like, a lot of my guys, I always tell them, I say, listen, we're going to do everything we can to help get the foot traffic in the door. But it's up to whoever's in the store, and what are we adding enough value to that customer for them to want to shop here, repeat shop here. To some people, they do want to support small business. They are going to give us a chance,
right?
And if we mess up, they'll give us another chance. Some people care about stuff. Some people don't. They're like, listen, I'm just coming here. I want my product. I'm leaving. I don't care if you're mom and pop, small business, indie based. I don't care. So it's making sure you understand the environment that you're in. I think a lot of people have that fight back. Like, this is the wrong way. Like, people shouldn't be buying online. They need to support mom and pops. Like, let's just stop fighting these things.
The one thing I'll say about your store in particular is, because over the years I've shopped at a lot of different supplement places, mainly, the big box ones or the chains and things like that. What I love about your store is they always ask when I come in, how can I help you, or do you have questions? And I haven't encountered one of your employees that hasn't known the answer to the question that I had, which is amazing, because it may have happened once, but they were like, let me just real quick find out, I have to call someone. But having that makes me feel comfortable. But the other part of it is that they also take the products here, because I will be like, I was looking at this protein, and they're like, cool, this is the one that I really like. And so for them to actually be immersed in the products and not just like, how can I help you? Let me ring this up. Have a good day. That's a huge customer service aspect, especially in this industry.
So you got to figure, for us, so I sat in a store from, let's say 2002. Well, since I was a kid in '93, but I, went to college, got my degree. I still was working occasionally in the store. But let's say when I graduated college until 2012, a good 10 years, I was in the store. We didn't have a warehouse. We didn't have a central area.
Gotcha.
So I had the experience. I know what it feels like to sit in the store. I know what it feels like to deal with customers. So with my employees, the idea is they need to be trained correctly. I need to understand their concerns. I need to care about them the same way I expect them to care about the customers. So this year, we're investing thousands of dollars in training software, training aspects to make sure that we get that better. Because right now, it's hard to find employees.
Yeah.
right? Because the unemployment's low, the opportunities are out there. When you get good employees, if you're going to keep them, you got to have a very clear vision of your company that you can articulate, and then you got to have training and things in place to get everybody on the same playing field. And I appreciate the fact that you think our training is good. I don't think it's nowhere where it needs to be yet.
Okay.
And we're investing a lot of
our own worst
time.
critics.
Yeah. So our goal is to definitely work on a training aspect that I can track. Saying, okay, here's a training module. You use this, and then okay, did you do this? Did you complete the test at the end? And you do it in a way that's fun, and we hire people that want to learn. So for them, they're doing a training about CBD, which we're selling tremendous amounts. So CBD, or they're doing a training about a new pre-workout, right? So if we're able to say, here's the training on it, it keeps everybody on the same page versus them getting a shipment from me and they just see random new products and there was no background on it.
Right. And then they have to just figure out how to answer that question. Well, what's that thing I said recently is like, you have to train your employees to do it exactly how you would do it.
Exactly.
Otherwise, they will do it however they would do it.
Correct.
And
you can't expect any differently.
Right. It's them. Like, you want their personality to be there, but they have to have
like
the knowledge.
in coaching, like my father always told me, like, look, if your athlete or client is not doing what you want, then that's your fault. They don't know. They're coming to you for your expertise. So if you don't know, I mean, they don't know.
And you got to set up training. You got to set up a system that they can follow. It can't, being a small business, you have so much stuff going on. At the beginning, you'll make it. When I was in my 20s, I'd make that mistake of thinking that other people should care as much as I do, and they shouldn't. It's not their business; it's your job. But if you create systems, then you get rid of that friction. So that employee is in the store and they feel confident. They're like, "Oh, I know what I'm doing. I know what I should do. I have access to this if I need it to get the information." And my employees are not going to know the answer to every question. But the key is, if they don't know the answer to the question, are they going to reach into their toolbox, and do they have a good enough toolbox? To answer that question. I tell my employees all the time, the quickest way to get fired at HealthSpot is lie to customers. So, if you don't know the answer, no customer gets upset, then you turn into their concierge. Your job is to go find that answer. Call me,
And I think people appreciate honesty. If you're like, hey, I'm actually not sure, but I'm going to find the answer for you. I think that helps with loyalty and trust with customers as well.
And I think, going back to the business aspect of it, you really have to have a strategy, and you have to realize that you're not going to come up with a strategy in 20 minutes. It's going to take time. So you slowly implement what you think is going to work and what's going to have some longevity to it. So you'll start seeing in our stores, if you go in an Avon store right now, there's a double door freezer, a double door cooler. We've got the in-body machine there, which does like body fat analysis. So what we're trying to do is be what our name says. We're trying to be the health spot. So we have people come in there. They're going to want the body fat analysis, the muscle mass analysis, so they know where they stand. And that machine at least lets them know, forget the bathroom scale. You need to know where your muscle mass and your fat is, so you don't pay attention to the scale, which is going to throw you off, especially if you're getting.
Well, that comes into helping recommending products. I mean, we just at Together Rise CrossFit and Kaha, we just kind of started this process of we're getting information from potential customers because we want to give them a personal recommendation on what classes. We have a ton of classes under one roof, so to be able to say, like, it looks like your goals are X, Y, and Z, and your background is 1, 2, and 3. So I think these classes could be a good fit for you, and ultimately that helps people have a plan.
Well, even knowing what they weigh and what their body composition is like. I mean, you're not going to recommend to him the same scoops that you're going to recommend to me, or even the same products. So I mean, just
if we give Monica 400 milligrams of caffeine, I don't know what would happen.
There would be a Monica-sized hole in that wall.
But that's what you'll see in every health spot. So all of our stores are moving towards that plan where you're going to go in there. We want people to get on this machine to give them a baseline. And I tell people, it shocked me. Like, I know I'm not in the best shape, but when I did that in-body machine and I saw those numbers, I was like, wow. And then I was like, well, it gives me something to go against. So I'm like, okay, in 30 days, I'm going to beat my personal numbers. So I'm not playing this comparison game with anybody else, and I'm going to get better. So, and then, things like having the double door freezer. So we have the meal prep. We have the Herculean meal prep in the stores where we're going to have people come in, do the in-body. They're not big into supplements. They're going to buy food. They're still going to ask us for advice, and that's okay with us. So we're going to cater to a bigger demographic. We're going to be the health spot, and we're going to find out more ways where you want to walk into the store. You want to use things that you're not going to get from going online. But we need to have that in a systematic way with a strategy that we can articulate clearly to our team. And, if you pull that off, you're going to win.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so easy for me to say. It's extremely hard to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk about this. I mean, I'll give you kudos because I think like you mentioned, you were at a point where it's like you really had to like erase everything.
Yeah.
And start back here. And I think a lot of times, especially as a small business owner, that seems like overwhelming because you're like, man, I can't start over. Like, I can't afford to do that right now. But if you don't, then you won't have these systems that you're talking about in place. And you'll just continue to operate out of chaos as opposed to having your philosophy and your plan.
And do you care? Like for me, I tell every employee when that customer opens the door, they decided to come to our store. They make a decision. Do you care about their goals as much as you possibly can when they walk in that door for that time frame that they're in the store?
Yeah.
If you're faking it, the customer is going to tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like when they say you have to have passion for what you do, it's just because that's the only way you do those crazy things. We're saying I'm going to erase this and start all over.
Sure.
Because you actually care about what you're doing.
Right.
If you don't, you're going to say, what are you going to do? You're going to say, you know what, I'm going to scrap this and go do something else that maybe gets me more monetary, satisfaction. So whatever it might be, but you got to have passion for what you want. Because it's the only thing that's going to feed you in those times where you're going to look crazy to everybody else.
Yeah.
And
I think an important thing too, passion doesn't necessarily have to be about supplements, but your passion could be health, fitness, and just the desire to help people with their health and fitness. It doesn't you need to be a supplement junkie. I'm so passionate about supplements.
I love pre-workout so much.
And the older I get, the more it's like, listen, I'm not as concerned with some aspects of this business, and I'm really more concerned with other aspects of this business. So I'm really trying to do more education on the vitamin herb side, getting people paying attention to, do we have any herbs that can help with, situations that come up as you get older, right?
Yeah.
So paying attention to general health, not just paying attention to vanity. And nothing wrong with vanity. Somebody like, I just want to look better. Hey, that's awesome.
Sure.
But as you get older,
To each his own.
to me, my most important thing is I got to be healthy, right?
Yeah,
and I need to have the energy to constantly to continue to do what I love to do. And I think to educate the younger staff of saying, listen, pay attention to blood pressure health, prostate health, overall health. Those things are just as important, if not more so.
Absolutely.
But it's just not as sexy as taking a pre-workout.
Well, and we live in a society that just medicates the crap out of everything that they think might be wrong with them instead of going to find what is causing that issue and trying to find exercise or natural ways to fix it. You know?
Absolutely.
And you have to respect everybody's journey, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's journey is different,
Yep.
and especially in this industry, you got to be careful not to put your viewpoint as the only viewpoint, which is what you see a lot in our industry.
Absolutely.
So,
if you really care about getting strong or whatever, you just figure everybody does. And that's not necessarily the case.
Or the way they want to get strong is the same way that you want them to get strong. And
absolutely.
there's going to be people who choose. There's people who love CrossFit. There's people who hate CrossFit.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's just the nature of the beast. I'm plant-based. There's some people who are like, oh no, and some people who are like, it does. I don't care what people do. I just say if you're
eats meat, vegetarian.
Whichever way you're going to do it, let's do it the right way for you. So I tell people, if you're going to eat meat, let's eat quality meat, right? So you're not allowed to buy garbage meat, and if you can't afford the same quantity of high quality meat, let's do what you should be doing anyway. Less meat on your plate, high quality, and learn how to cook some vegetables. And I think the disconnect is we have people who aren't spending time in the kitchen actually cooking their food.
Absolutely not.
So, that's why I love Herculean so much, and that's why I love these. For people like us, I mean, man, we are just on the go all the time, and so, like, I haven't even seen a kitchen in a long time. But for someone to do that for me, but I can still get a healthy meal.
You see the value in that. And people who are like, well, I don't want to pay for that. Okay, well, then you're going to pay for it a different way.
Right.
Well, especially when you look at the cost of their meals, it's very reasonable.
It is.
If you're going to go to any other place, even if you're trying to eat healthy at a Panera or this, that, or the other, I guarantee it's more expensive there than what you're going to get that meal for.
So it's being able to communicate that to somebody who's new to our industry where it makes sense, and people can feel if it's coming from a genuine place or you're just trying to make a sale.
Right, absolutely. That's what she mentioned. I think the caring about the customer's goals as opposed to like, oh man, if I sell more of this product, I get a better commission this month. So let me just try to push that on somebody as opposed to actually caring about what they want.
And when you're hiring staff and you have to make sales to pay the pay for lights and utilities, that's a delicate balance too, to make sure that you understand that we are running a for-profit business,
Right.
but that does not mean that you have to disconnect that from doing it the right way, right?
Right.
So
Right.
you can figure that mix out, and it has to start with leadership. They're going to tell what I believe, and whatever I'm believing and the way I want to steer this ship has got to be. I'm coming back to the same statement. It has to be articulated clearly on where we're trying to go here, and then you'll pick up the right people to be on your team as you're heading in that direction.
Yeah. And you might find some people that need to get off the bus.
Yeah.
Some people you have to kick off.
Right.
So and as I progressed in business too, like you have to know, when people aren't a good fit for your company,
Sure.
and you have to get those people off of your team as quickly as possible.
Because otherwise, I mean, it's your brand voice, it's your thing, and if you
Yeah.
don't keep that consistent, then that'll go
The
away.
biggest mistakes I made in business are keeping people on the team that shouldn't have been part of the team for too long.
Yeah.
Because that does some damage that takes a very long time to fix.
And look,
So-
it's a tough thing. Look, there are people in this world just like, well, just fire them, just get rid of them. Well, from a human being standpoint, you want to give people an opportunity. You want to try to do that, but ultimately, it's not personal. It's just you're just not the right fit for what we're trying to do.
And that's what it comes down to. It's nothing to do with that person.
Yeah.
It is this person's views, values aligned with where I'm trying to take this company?
Yeah.
And we're a small team, so we have 4 stores in the warehouse. We have 9 people, including me, right?
Yeah.
So when you're running this small of a team, everybody's got to be on point with the same vision. If they're not, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And being able to put everything into a system is going to help you figure out who's on board.
Right.
So if I give you training stuff on new products and you're not excited and you don't do them, this is probably not the right fit for you.
Yeah, makes sense. Yep.
Right.
And there's enough people who are into this. And once again, I only need 9 people.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't need that many people. That's why I always tell my team, I'm like, I know it's hard to find people. We don't need that many.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're okay. We'll just keep fighting and trying to find the right people who
Yeah.
want to come in here and, like, yes, they want to make a living, but they also understand they can do it to try to help you.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing you guys are
It's
doing.
like our instructor coach team. I mean,
Yeah.
we have a team of rock stars, and you can tell that every single person on the team is very, very passionate about helping people and finding everyone's individual journey. And I mean, there's one specific lady that came to teach me one time. I remember it was her first class. She walked in the door, and I was like, "How's it going?" And she was like, "It's not the best day. I just." This morning, and I was like, "This is your first class. You should be so fired up right now."
Yeah.
And she lasted like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Because
But you have to be able, as a leader, to have those conversations, especially if you're in charge of hiring and firing. If you can't be squeamish about firing. Now, you can do it in a respectful way.
Absolutely.
It needs to be done
Absolutely.
out of respect for that person, because otherwise you're dragging them along on a journey that they don't
That's
need
what
to
we
be
heard
on.
on a podcast.
Yeah.
That was he was saying is try to think of it in the opposite light.
Absolutely.
That you are helping this person by doing
In the
that.
long
You
run,
are hindering them by allowing them to continue to
Sucks
stay on
today. In the long run. It's gonna
And
be-
when you have a disease employee, like we've had them, like they're in one store, they're calling the other stores, they're planting these negative seeds, they're doing all these things, and I used to always want to give people the benefit of the doubt over and over again, but you have to be graceful about it. But there's a point where you have to look at yourself in the mirror and saying, this person isn't going to be part of your vision,
Right.
Yeah.
as far as you can see your vision.
Yeah.
So let's just do it.
So your vision, so that brings us on to a good next topic of, I mean, it seems every industry, but you want to talk about 2 industries in particular, the fitness industry and the supplement industry that is unbelievably flooded.
Absolutely.
Especially when it comes to social media and just everything that is going out there. So what are some ways that you feel like have worked or maybe not worked of trying to get through to people amidst all the noise?
Stop the scroll.
Well, we're still trying to figure out that equation, but I'll tell you what doesn't work. You can't throw money at it. You can't say, well, I'm going to increase my budget and I'll spend more marketing money. If you're not putting thought behind it, especially in a society where people's influence, not just big influencers, but small people, their opinion is louder.
Yeah.
So you have to put some strategy into it. We're still fine-tuning that, but it will go back to what I originally said is to make Health Spa a better place for you to come visit. So it becomes an experience.
Yeah.
So how do we make coming to these stores an experience?
Sure.
So, and how do we differentiate stuff? We have to do things that make Health Spot unique, and then create a bigger barrier to entry for other people. So
that's refreshing to hear, because honestly it's very similar in what we're looking at the gym right now, because there are 7,000 options.
Correct.
And so it is that experience, that
Yeah.
those touch points that you get and things that people go.
Well, and what's crazy is you get all these Instagram experts out there, and they're hosting all these workshops about how content is king. It's not king. There are so many strategies. Content, yes, it is very important.
Very important.
But we could put out the best content in the world, and if no one's seeing it, it means shit.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's a balancing act, right?
Yeah.
It's not everybody. Well, I think a lot of the younger generation too. They're trying to find the silver bullet.
Yeah.
And I think when you're in your business, and let's say you're on a decline, sometimes you're looking for a silver bullet. I just need this one thing, and it's going to change my business. And that's just not how the world works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you bank that one thing going to change the dynamics of your team or your company, and it doesn't, your team just saw that too.
Yeah.
So you better really believe
Or you'll be
Yeah.
in constant search. I mean,
Yeah.
if you're always,
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's no different. There's great carryover to supplements and fitness with this very thing. What are so many of our customers and clients looking for?
Yeah.
They're looking for the magic pill.
Yeah, of
Like
course. Yeah.
something that I can take today, and
Yeah.
after this week, I will be in the best shape
And
of my
Yeah.
life.
and what do we tell people? We tell people all the time, you're not going to make it with supplements alone. So
Yeah.
we set that bar at the right place.
Yeah,
It's not low,
absolutely.
it's not high, it's at the right place.
Yep.
Without diet and workout, it's not going to work.
Absolutely.
And that's why
where we're at too.
Yeah.
It's not just workout; it's diet,
Yeah.
and there are certain supplementations
Yeah.
that are going to help you.
Yeah.
And some people, there are plenty of times where you need certain supplements, right?
Sure.
But there's no magic pill. There's
No.
things that can drastically help you get better.
Yeah.
But let's say you're on a trajectory to lose weight. If I can help speed that up, that's realistic.
Absolutely.
If you're on a trajectory to gain muscle, if I can help speed that up, that's realistic.
Yeah.
If you're sitting on a couch, and that's why another thing, if we can measure it by having these devices in the store to measure
Absolutely.
it,
Yeah.
we can help you achieve those goals, and you're more likely to stick to the aspects of your business, of your lifestyle that we want you to, if you have something that's measured.
If you have that number.
You have that
Yeah.
number.
Number
And-
is huge. I mean, we talk about that in gym. That's one of the things I loved about CrossFit when I got into it, and I'm still doing, is because there's a score to a workout.
Yeah.
So to have this number,
Yep.
that when I do that workout again, like, I'm going to try to beat that number.
Well, and I'm thinking about, we've got a girl who just went through, well, she's fairly new with us. She went through our strength program. She went through our challenge. And in the last strength program, she gained 2 pounds. Now, for any woman who's like, oh, I just put in all this work, she lost 3% body fat and gained 2 pounds. Like, and her clothes fit awesome. You can see her tone. So, like, just the numbers on the in-body versus standing on your scale is going to be
huge.
Yeah.
You know, for us, so we're going to have them. We're going to have an in-body type of device. I'm not 100% committed, and if I say that now, I just lost all my negotiation. But you know, as that process is going through, the idea is we'll have it in the store. We'll have it at we'll put it at a certain price. We'll say like $29, $39, but it'll be free for people who purchase here.
Yeah.
Just to avoid someone just randomly coming in. And,
Yep.
We've seen some crazy stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But the idea is, if our customers are here, we want to give them access to things that help them get better.
Yeah.
And then offer them more than just. And we have a lot of things in the pipeline we want to do. But the idea is, it comes back to an experience.
Yeah.
If you're able to, no matter what you're doing, even in your guys' business, right? The idea is it's all based on that experience. And that experience is who you hire, the equipment you have, the lessons you're going through. All those things are tied to just one thing, and that's experience.
Yep.
If that experience is good, what happens? It also goes back to marketing. That person goes out and tells other people.
Yeah.
And we tell people hey, you know, if you like this, you know, please share it with your friends. Like,
Yeah.
encourage that. Because there are plenty of people who do want to help a local business.
Like word of mouth and referrals is always going to be your best
I'll
market.
tell you, the downsides too is when we made all the stores look the same and did the branding and everything, we had people not realizing we're mom and pop. They thought we were a franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
totally get that.
And I was like, we're not a franchise, we're a mom and pop.
Yeah.
So
So you're going to go with mom and pop health spot?
I know, Then we'll have 3 of them and be like, oh, that's the chain, you know? So, it just, you have, but what does that mean? I've done a horrible job, in my opinion, of the social media, getting the word out, and me being out there because I've been so busy in the background running the business.
Yeah.
And
Struggle with that too.
but that's a big problem. So now I have to put systems in place and delegate more the back end stuff so I can go out there and interact more.
Yeah, well, I've literally gone with a social media calendar. because
Yeah.
that's how I operate. So
Yeah.
it's better for me to lay out a calendar, and I want to post these stuff on certain days. So it's just like another task that you do,
Yeah.
like you're doing back there, to be able to look at the calendar and be like, all right, well, I'm going to post this today.
Yeah.
Yep.
As opposed to just being like, oh shoot, I
I have to
gotta
put something
gotta
Well,
post
I think
something.
my big thing is I didn't want to be out there myself as much either, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I want the brand to speak for itself. But if
Yeah.
people don't have an anchor for that brand, if they don't have a story to understand what's
Yeah.
going on with that brand, it's what I tell my employees. So it's the same thing I need to tell my customers.
Yeah.
It's like,
Absolutely.
here's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Here's what's. It started because my mom had a health issue that she had to solve.
Yeah.
This is why we're on this path.
That's very important. It started from a need,
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
a
Financial-
need,
yeah.
not a not a
Yeah.
cash
A lot of money,
game.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And people kind of see that disconnect. But I don't have. It's so easy for me to do because it's genuine.
Yeah.
I want people to get healthier. I want to have 1% of 1% with you reaching your goals.
Yeah.
And if I do that correctly, the cash register will take care of itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when you're in a saturated business, like think about it. Like everybody and their mom sells some supplements, right? So you see it all over Facebook, all over
Yeah.
Instagram, every gym. Everybody's selling supplements
Oh,
when it
yeah,
used to just
yeah.
be supplement stores. Now you've got grocery stores and you've got online. That's not how it was when my mom opened in '93. It's very
Right.
different.
Yeah.
So then when you're looking at this aspect, it comes down to how do you differentiate yourself?
Yeah.
And if you're not spending time on that strategy, it's not going to.
I think it's so important. I mean, you think about when your mom had this store, and I have a buddy of mine that owns a staffing company, and he's talking, things always come back. We always talk about this. Like, they always end up coming back around because marketers ruin everything, right?
Yeah.
But he's talking about how when he is trying to get people a job, it is even more important for this.
Yeah.
He tells them you need to network, and don't, even if this person sells insurance, and you're like, well, I don't want to sell insurance. But you don't know who that person knows, who that
Correct.
person knows, and especially today,
Yeah.
if they can put a face to a name, or if somebody says, "Oh, we're hiring for this," like, "Oh, you know what? I just met Monica the other day."
Yeah.
That's going to get you much farther than throwing in your
Well,
resume
and
with
people
7,000
buy
other
from
ones.
people they like, and the other
Yeah.
thing is like this to the consumer is a brand. I don't know how many of them there are if I'm just not like looking into the company,
Yep.
but also they assume. People assume that when you're a business owner, you're sitting on this pile of cash,
Yeah.
trying to decide what yacht you want to buy next, and it's like
Right.
that's not at all. I mean, if you sure, some people, but like if you are driven by passion,
Yeah.
running out of money is just going to make you figure out how to fuel your passion in a different way.
And most
you
small
know?
businesses are going to be struggling. I mean,
Right.
look, I've been doing this a long time. I'm still working 6 or 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Maybe not
Yeah.
as intensely on certain days, but it's
Sure.
always there. My stores are open 7 days.
Yeah.
If there's something happening, I'm the call.
Yeah,
I get the
you
call.
never get to step away fully.
You never step away fully, and you accept that. It doesn't bother me.
Right.
You know,
Right.
so it can be hard on relationships. It's hard on your personal life.
Sure.
It's hard on things.
Yeah.
But you do it long enough. It's like this is just kind of what
It's
you know.
life.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
life. And
Yeah.
there's no. And I have certain customers who they still want access to me. They still want to talk to me. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm accessible. I'm right here. Just,
Yep, I
just
know.
text me.
It's
My
no
early
different with-
members have
with
my cell
Monica,
phone
yeah.
number, and
Yeah,
they'll be like,
absolutely.
"Hey, can you sign me up for this class?" Like they did 5 years ago,
Yeah.
because that's just the way they've always done it.
Yeah.
When I had 20 members, and I'm
Yeah.
like, "Sure, I can sign everybody up for class." I have all the
And you
time in the
want
world.
that, and you still have to maintain it, and you have to remember those customers. I have a
Yeah.
customer downtown. I still deliver his supplements to him.
Really?
He's been shopping with HealthSpot since I was 14.
Really?
My mom in the store, and he'll call me. He's like, "Can you get me these things?" And I deliver it to him. But I appreciate the fact that he's been shopping with
Oh
us for
my gosh,
20
yeah.
years. So
Yep.
you have now realistically as you grow, I can't have all of my customers calling.
Right.
I was going to say,
So-
so what number do they call
Yeah,
for personal
what-
delivery?
So that's the balancing act as you grow, right? You want to maintain that one-on-one personal
Yeah.
relationship, but you want to grow your business.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a give and take, and if you don't understand that,
Yeah.
you become overwhelmed.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if you do, as you grow your business, I tell everybody, you understand that because more businesses will die of indigestion than starvation.
Yes.
So you've got to pay attention to that and
Yeah.
understand how you're going to handle that ahead of time because it comes down to communication. If you're communicating clearly with your customers, they know what to expect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Customers are very forgiving if there's communication.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you place an order on our website, whatever reason we don't have that flavor, I email people. I'm like, hey, we're out of peanut butter, but we have these other 5 flavors.
Yeah.
They're not like, I can't believe you had peanut butter. They're like, oh yeah, I'll take one of the other ones. Thank you so much for reaching out.
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Absolutely.
if you can win on communication, you win on so many things, and it's one of those skills I tried to get better.
Yeah.
Is to be able to communicate my thoughts in a clear way.
Yeah.
And then the other aspect I think as you grow your business too is being better at getting talent. The quicker you can hire people, the quicker you can
Yeah.
assess somebody as a person when it comes to fitting your business
Yeah.
is crucial. You're not going to be perfect at it, but you got to get way better as you progress in business. It's got to be something you research, read up on, spend time understanding. Don't just kind of leave it as one of these things. I'll interview them if I feel a certain way. Just add a little strategy to that too.
Yeah.
Or you're going to get burned.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Some people can interview really well.
Oh, yeah, and then are completely different when they are on your staff.
But you know,
I think it's important the way you interview too, like you said, because look, we've all been in interviews where they ask these stupid basic like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Go with the
It's like, look, are we going to actually have a conversation here? Like, do you want to know who I am, or are we just going to like do this stupid
surface level stuff? Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Yeah.
and the idea too is like when you hire them, we're very clear with people. We're hiring you on a 90-day probationary period. At any time during a 90-day probationary period, we might decide that this is not a good fit.
Yep.
And then we follow through on that, but we're very clear with that, so that person isn't surprised.
Yeah.
And then we tell people like, listen, this is the reasons why some people haven't made it past. You know, and then you don't only tell them the good parts of your business. You tell them the parts of, you know, you're sitting in a retail store throughout the day. It might be a slow day. You don't see many people.
Yeah.
It could be boring.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, once again, that's just being real.
Yeah,
Right.
You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to do. You have to learn about new supplements. If you're not willing to do that, this isn't gonna be a good fit for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, those people who are all about supplements, like I'm not worried. You know, like this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that give the best experience to your customers, and then you don't have issues of traffic and all the other problems that you're running into. So you have to look at every aspect of your business and put energy into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like sit down there with a piece of paper and just write everything you think about a topic.
Yeah.
And keep working on that topic to fine tune it.
Yeah.
But I think as a business owner, every part of your business you better have a pretty good grasp of.
Yeah.
Like you know, unique ideas. Like, you know, you guys came to the gym for a photo shoot. You know, at TWR in Caja, and there's a pizza party coming up.
Yeah, so this Saturday, we did this in Avon 2 weeks ago, and we're doing it in our Fishers location, 116th and Cumberland in Fishers. We're doing a Quest pizza party. So Quest launched their high-protein, low-net-carb pizza.
Guys, protein pizza.
And the reason why I like this one, I've tried a lot of protein pizzas today, is this one is, like, the bottom is crispy. They use their protein powder to kind of make, so it's a crispy pizza. And it's low net carb. And when I say high protein, the entire pizza, it ranges based on flavor, like 50 to 60 grams of protein in a 9-inch pizza. So come up to Fisher, you just try the pizza for free.
So that's this Saturday?
This Saturday in Fishers, yeah. And we'll be sampling some other things there too. So if you're not into pizza, they come there anyway because we'll have different.
Who's not into pizza?
I'm telling you, there's some people who came into the event in Avon. They're like, I don't want.
That's what I said. Like, we're hosting an event next Friday called Grit and Growlers at Beer Brewery.
Yeah,
and
I
like,
don't drink beer.
And I was like, who's not into beer?
Yeah.
Just bring a bottle of wine.
I know.
Yeah, right.
But you know,
well, that's cool. So Saturday, what time is that?
we're running 11 to 4, and then we'll be doing. I think we're still sampling out muscle eggs. If you haven't tried those are awesome.
I've had those
Flavored
back in
egg
the day.
whites.
Awesome.
Muscle eggs?
Yep.
Yeah, flavored egg whites.
Yep.
Yeah. Copy, okay.
And then probably some random, supplements as well. So we'll be doing some BCAAs and some different things as well.
Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is awesome. I'm
Yeah.
excited for you. Your store is awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate
I've
it.
actually only shopped in this one because this is just
Close,
But
yeah.
but yeah, you're crushing it, and
Absolutely.
thank you for letting us come in today and
Thank you.
chat
Awesome.
about all the
I
things.
appreciate it.
Awesome. So obviously, they can find you online.
Yep.
And then one more time, where are all those store locations at?
So if you go to healthspot.com, you can see all locations there.
Okay.
And then we're in Fishers, Broadipple, Avon, Greenwood, and then feel free to reach us online. Or you can email me if you need to. It's Omber, OMBER @healthspot.com.
Awesome.
I really appreciate it. Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks a lot,
All right.
man. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
You got it.
All right.
right.
Thanks for talking dirty with us, everybody. We'll catch you next time.